Hello everyone, today I want to share with you a small trick I found on Airtable to remove duplicates. How does it work? Let's dive into the database. Here we have an import database where we input all the data that we wanted to analyze, and also, of course, there we have a number of duplicates. So for example, NBN here has several times the same record. To perform the duplicate removal, we have a second base here that will count and add all the different duplicates, and I'm going to show you how. So for example, you import a database, you have a number of records that are duplicates. I perform a small automation where every time the record triggers the automation and enters a specific view, I will look for the record in the duplicate table. Does it already exist? If it doesn't, I create the new record in the duplicate table. If it already exists, I just assign the record and I link it to the associated duplicate record one. So for example, here my first record is NBN. NBN, when she entered the database, didn't exist in the duplicate table. So I created her and assigned the first record to her. And then I perform the same automation afterwards, and you can see that I have 9 duplicates inside the database for the same person. Now, what we want to do is make sure we don't have the duplicates in the database we imported. And you can see that here I am using record ideas to perform so. So every time I have a new duplicate, the duplicate is assigned to the original one. I will look up and roll up and bring all the record ideas that are related to this specific duplicate and this specific reference. And then I will only select one specific record idea that I want to. So I can also here edit the field and use some filters and some sorting in order to limit to one and only initial record in the imported database that I want to keep. Once I have selected the record I want to, I bring it back in the imported database. You can see it here in that column. For NBN, there is only one single record idea that's brought back, and it corresponds to the first one here that has been added to the initial database. And then all the others, I perform a check to that. If those two records are the same, I will put a checkbox on it. If not, I'll put a cross. And then the only thing I need to do is to filter on all the checks that have a checkbox to it. And then I can change my database. I can filter it and pass from 660 records to 207. And that's how you can dedup easily a database in Airtable. That's it. Stay tuned for more tips in no code and in Airtable.